Welcome back to another edition of Garage Math. My name is Mr. Henriksen. I'm excited to be back with you again. I have something I need to clear up from my last video. I can't believe I made this mistake. I'm surprised they haven't called yet and demanded me to fix this. Step one, we can have lots of fun. I gave credit to the Backstreet Boys for that song. And oh my gosh, I'm sure your parents were just furious when they heard me saying that, screaming at the phone. It was New Kids on the Block. Of course it was New Kids on the Block. That was not Backstreet Boys. Oh. Okay, so here we go. We are going to continue inequalities. I need you to stick with I need you to stick with this video because at the very end, I'm going to have a Halloween tip for all of you. I'm going to show you how you can actually get more candy by staying home and passing out candy than if you actually go out. Now, I know it's not as fun, so I hope you get to go out tomorrow. Have a good time. Okay, I just got an Amazon package delivered. Thank you.
No problem.
Neighbors do walk by wondering who I'm talking to, but what do you want me to say? Every day at my house is Christmas because my wife loves Amazon. All right, let's talk about one-step inequalities that have to do with multiplying and dividing. We've already done adding and subtracting. There is a curveball here. Now, I'm not going to solve these and compare them to equations because you can also solve them the same way, except there's one trick. So make sure you are paying attention. The trick is not going to show up until the second page, okay? All right, I'm gonna get rid of this ball and touchdown. Okay, so one-step inequalities. Now, we do solve these just like we solve an equation, okay? All right, so when you have multiplication, just think about what undoes multiplication. Kind of think of the opposite of multiplication. So the opposite of multiplication would be division. So this means multiply because they're touching a number and a letter. That means they're multiplying. So if this is multiplication, here's how you show division. That's not a fraction bar, it's a division bar. Same thing, okay? 4 divided by 4 is 1. So you have 1m. This bad boy just comes down, just like an equal sign. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Okay, m is less than or equal to 4. Again, the way we check it is you just pick any number that makes this true, it'll make that true. So let me pick one number that's less than or equal to 4. How about 0? 4 times 0 is 0. 0 is less than or equal to 16. Okay, we're off and running. Now, again, this is 3 times x equals 15. And I know lots of you are like, that's 5. Give me a break. I don't need to show the line underneath. Just show it. Not asking for your left kidney. Just show it. Boom, 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 boom. Because what you need to do for your teacher is show knowledge. Speaking of knowledge, knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing don't put it in your fruit salad. Somebody gave that to me as a magnet years ago, and I've always enjoyed saying it. Okay, now this one's a little different. This is division. This is division. This is division. So, okay, if division undoes multiplication, what undoes division? What undoes division? Okay. If you multiply, right, the denominator by the numerator, 5 divided by 5 is 1. And since you guys know your 10 commandments of math, what thou doest to one side, thou must doest to thouest other side. Multiply that side by 5. Multiply this side by 5. Negative 6 times negative 5. Negative times a negative is a positive. Okay? And then check it. If we just plug 30 here, 30 divided by 5 is 6. 30 divided by 5 is 6. 30 divided by 5 is 6. That's, oh yeah, it's negative 6. 30 divided by, that's a positive 5, okay? So that's a negative. That's why you check it. Do you see how great that turned out? I knew something was off. I don't want my kids sometimes to test their answers. I tell them to smell their answers. So if you notice that, I was like, that's a positive, that's a positive, that's a negative, because negative 30 divided by 5 is negative 6. That's the power of checking. Woohoo! I almost did that on purpose. Okay, now this right here, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can draw the line underneath, divide both sides by 1/2. Then if you divide both sides by 1/2, keep it, switch it, flip, and multiply. Then you would take the 1/2 and flippy flip. Okay, but we're gonna do that step early, because basically if you want to make a fraction 1, you multiply it by its, give me the technical term, correct, you multiply it by its flippy flip. So the flippy flip of 1/2 is 2/1. If you multiply anything by, fine, reciprocal. If you multiply anything by its reciprocal, you're just going to end up getting 1, okay? So 2 times 1, it's 1, okay? So 1y is y. Now, if you multiply this side by 2/1, thou must do is the multiplying this by the otherest side, okay? So times 2/1 times 2/1, okay? And 4 times 2 is 8. We have 8, okay? Now let's try that check thing again. Hopefully we're gonna screw this one up. What's half of 8? 4, fine, we're done. Hey, real quick, I do wanna graph these. So just boom, boom. And then I'm gonna have to go a little bit quicker. Okay, remember how I did these in another video? I always would just pick the number that it has, and then I would just pick its opposite. I don't know why, I just do. Okay, x is greater than or equal to negative 30. Because it's equal to, you have to fill it in, and it's greater than, it's every number this way, because remember the arrow points that way. Okay, now this one, that's an 8, okay? 0, 8, negative 8. Open circle or closed circle? 1, 2, 3. Open circle at the 8, and the reason why it's an open circle is because 8's not part of the solution, but it's everything greater than, Okay, super cool. All right, now comes curveball. Ready? Blue Jays, 3-2. We're rooting for the Blue Jays, right? I mean, America, don't get me wrong. But the Dodgers, let's go Blue Jays. Although, I love America. Okay, now, copy this down. So hit pause and copy this down. And make sure this word BY is like super outlined. Bye. Speaking of bye, New Kids on the Block? No. 98 Degrees? No. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Just like last time.
In sync, sugar.
It is in sync, honey. Love you. I knew that. Okay, so when you divide, because we already learned this, when you divide by whatever number is touching the variable, but here's the trick. Ready? Sit down. When you divide by a negative, you have to flip the inequality. Why? Ask your sister. She'll tell you, okay? Or your brother. I could show you actually, but I don't have time because this video is going to go way long and I haven't even done my Halloween part yet. Maybe I'll make that a separate video. I think I might. Okay. What did I write 7? Maybe because I'm getting excited that tomorrow's Halloween. Y is less than negative 7. Y is less than negative 7. You have to flip the inequality. I can explain that in another video. Okay, but let's just test it. A number that is less than negative 7, we'll say negative 10. Negative 7 times negative 10 is 70. 70 is greater than 49, okay? Cool. All right, let's go to that's the same problem. That's the exact same problem. Check this out. It's the exact same problem, so you have to flip it. Ha ha, just kidding. Who out there can tell me why we did not flip? No, I'm not calling on you. You always raise your hand. and you don't even think before you raise your hand. Okay, I'll call on you. You don't flip because you didn't divide by a negative. What are you talking about? That's a negative. That's into a negative. You have to divide by a negative. Okay, cool. Okay. Now, this just looks kind of ugly. It's got fractions and negatives and ooh, oh my. But whatever. Just do the rules. Just do the rules. The rules, okay. Ooh, this is good. I'm glad we have a negative 2/3. When you want to make a fraction 1, you multiply it by its flipperical, okay? So the reciprocal of negative 2/3 is negative 3/2. Okay, so when you multiply something by its reciprocal, you just flippy flip, but you have to keep the negative sign, and that means multiply, okay? Negative 3 then negative 6, negative 6. So what we basically have is we have positive x. We have 1x, okay? And if we multiply that side by negative 3/2, you have to multiply this side by negative 3/2. Okay, negative times a negative is a positive. Ooh, we multiplied by a negative, so we better flip the inequality. Okay, we can do this in our head. Negative times a negative is a positive. We don't need to worry about the signs anymore. 18 times 3 is 54. 54 divided by 2 is 27. I think it's 27, or we can cross reduce 1 and 9. I'm gonna go 27, okay? Now, because I'm doing this live and I'm not using a computer and I can't redo these, because once I write on these, I can't go back and redo them. Like, this is live, like Saturday Night Live. If I ever screw these up, put it in the comments section, make fun of me, post it online, whatever. I can take it. Okay, let's do one more. Now, these ones get people kind of weirded out. They go, divide both sides by 36, divide both sides by 36. And I say, do not divide both sides by 36 because, well, they say, why? It's the number on the left. It's never the one on the left. That's not the rule. The rule is the number touching the variable. Get the variable isolated. Okay, so negative 9 times x. What undoes multiplication? Division. Negative 9, negative 9. Now, keep things on the same side for now, okay? 36 divided by negative 9 is negative 4. Negative 9 divided by negative 9 is an x. But this bad boy, boink, boink, he has to flip because we divided by a negative. Now I'm going to do a double flip. I'm just going to move it around this way because I like the variable on the left side. X is less than negative 4. X is less than negative 4. Let's pick one and check it. Give me a number less than negative 4. How about negative 5? Negative 5. Negative 9 times negative 5 is 45. 45 is greater than 36. Yep. Let me get a number that's not true. 0 is not. Negative 9 times 0 is 0, and 0 is not greater than 36. Okay. Maybe I talked kind of fast, but I think if you hit pause and go back and listen to this 7 more times, you're going to get it. Are you ready for some word problems? Man, this video is going to be long. That's okay. All right. I always, when I write these, I go, oh, I don't want to be too quick because I don't want to have to, and then it's like, when am I ever too quick? Okay, here we go. Uh-oh. I know we got to read them. I have $23 and I want to take friends to the movies. That's how I had friends in middle school. I had take them to the movies. And they always didn't even sit with me. That was weird. But at least I walked into the movies with them. That was fun. Okay, each ticket cost $4.50. $4.50 for one ticket. Back in the day, we went to go see Return of the Jedi. They used to have double features too. But I only have $23. So I can't spend more than $23. I can spend $23. So I want you to think about the inequality if you're trying to say, this is all I got. I can't spend more than that. So I would probably say I could spend under it and I could spend it, but I can't spend 24. So that would be less than or equal. Okay? Oh, always tell the teacher what X is. X is how many tickets you can buy. You always have to establish what the variable is. Okay, 4.5 is how much each ticket is. That is the inequality. For every one ticket, $4.50 times 2, $9 times 3, whatever it is. Now we divide them both. Now there's no flip it in this one. I already did this ahead of time. It came out to like a weird decimal. I think it was like 5.1. Okay, so let me get a different pen. It makes it kind of stand out a little better. I'm almost sure. You guys can get your calculator out. I forgot to bring a calculator out. X is less than or equal. It's like 5.1 Repetin bar. You can't buy 5.1 of a ticket. So how many tickets can you buy? You can buy 5. I can bring 4 friends, which is 4 more than I probably had. So you then would have to answer how many tickets I can buy. That's the inequality. I imagine the question would say how many tickets you can buy, and you'd have to write 5 tickets. 5 tickets. Okay, you can't buy partial of a ticket. All right, last one. Then I'm gonna give you my, actually I'm not. I'm gonna make that a separate video. Okay, I plan on eating half of my kids' candy. I am blessed. They can hear this, by the way. Cameron, my kids now are both in high school, and they like to point out how old their dad is and how much of an idiot he is as many times as they can. So one of my sons came down the other day because they can hear my videos, and they say, Dad, do you know that your phone has like a microphone thing that picks up your voice? They can adjust the volume when they listen to it on their computers. So if you scream like a lunatic, then they're gonna have to listen to it really low. How about you just speak like a normal person, and then you don't have to yell? Too bad, son. So I don't know, what was my point? My point is this: I have twins, so as soon as they shot out, I took them trick-or-treating. We had the double bob. We would go around all the neighborhoods, and they would give I got double the candy, even when they didn't even eat candy. It was great. So at that point, I ate 100% of it, because they would just like, they'd go to bed, and they would never remember there was candy there the next morning. All right, I plan on eating half of my kids' candy after trick-or-treating. Half of their candy. Then as they got older, that was the surcharge, half of their candy. And my kid said, he wants to have at least 50 pieces for himself. That's plenty. Well, he better hustle then, because I'm going to take half. He wants to have at least 50. Here's how I always like to kind of set these problems up. I like to establish the inequality first. So what is the inequality for at least? Oh gosh. The inequality for at least is it's greater than or equal to. At least is greater than or equal to. 50 is good, 51's better. Okay, so now I'm gonna eat, X is gonna be how much candy does he have to get. Now watch how math and English go together. I'm gonna eat half of, I don't know why I put the parentheses, half of the candy. Of means times, this means times. How do you undo a fraction? You do its flippy flip, which is 2. 50 times 2. X is greater than or equal to 100. So that kid better, oh gosh, I gotta stand up. That kid better come home with at least 100 pieces of candy if he wants to have 50 pieces. He can come back with 200, which would be better for everybody, because I'd get 100, he'd get 100. Okay, you know what? Actually, I am gonna stop the video right here, and then I'm going to do a special Halloween candy edition. Okay, and peace.